Well, we pick it up today in verse 6, verses 1 through 5. David made a vow to God, and he vowed that he would not rest until God had his rightful place of enthronement, of reigning prominence and preeminence in the city of Jerusalem, and that Ark of the Covenant coming into Jerusalem. And so it is in our lives that we really are restless, and we really don't have peace or joy or fullness until God has his rightful place in our lives. We talked all about that yesterday, and I really do hope that you will give God his rightful place. He is not an oppressor. He is a loving Lord who wants to care for you and meet your needs, and vowing yourself to give him the prominence and the rightful place of rulership in your life is not only what he deserves, but it's what you most need. It is how you most thrive. So David says, I want to find, verse 5, I want to find a habitation for the mighty God of Jacob. And then it's almost like the people are responding. Lo, we heard of it at Ephrata. Now, that word may resonate with you. You may remember it being related to a prophecy about Jesus. Bethlehem, Ephrata. Okay, so Ephrata is Bethlehem. It's the city of David. This is where Jesus would be born. We found it in the fields of the wood. We will go into his tabernacles, and we will worship at his footstool. So the people here are responding to the idea that, yes, we've heard that the Ark of the Covenant is coming on its way. We've heard that there is a place being shaped for God at Jerusalem. Verse 7, and we will go into his. So the people are responding to the leadership of David, saying, we want to establish a place for God. And the people are saying, yes, do that, and we will come and worship at his tabernacle. We will worship at his footstool. The people continue in verse 8, arise, O Lord, into thy rest, thou and the ark of thy strength. Now that's the reference to the Ark of the Covenant, okay? And we'd have to take a long time, more time than we have, but the Ark of the Covenant was the piece of furniture that I talked about a couple days ago that the children of Israel followed into the promised land, and that went before them as the presence of God. It was an object lesson, okay, of God's presence and God's power and their dependence on following God and their need of his protection and his provision and his strength, his power, okay? Protection, provision, and power. And the Ark of the Covenant was to be before the people. They were to be following it. And then when it was set in place in the tabernacle, it was to be the center. All the camp of the nation of Israel was to be set around the tabernacle with the Ark of the Covenant inside of it. So this ark, the ark of thy strength, is a picture of God having center. And the people, you and me, in a modern context, you and me having a perpetual sense of our dependence on the power, the provision, and the protection of God in our lives. A perpetual sense that we need him, and our lives will be oriented around him. That like the wheel, like spokes with a hub, all the aspects of our lives, like the camp of the Israelites, were to rotate or revolve or to be centered on the presence of God. And in modern sense, it's the presence of Jesus in our lives as King and ruler and as our shepherd and guide and teacher and father and friend and faithful Savior. Okay, so here's what I want to put before you today, and we'll wrap it up. The people in verse 6, 7, and 8 are responding to spiritual leadership. And in this case, it's the spiritual leadership of David saying, let's give God his rightful place in our city. And the people saying, yes, let's give God his rightful place in the midst of us. And when we do, we will submit to him. We will bow before him. We will worship him and follow him. And this plays out in so many respects in our 21st century lives, okay? First of all, you need to do this personally. like David did, like the nation of Israel did, you need to see that Jesus deserves centerpiece, center place in your life. And personally say, yes, God, I'm giving you the rightful preeminence in my life. I'm going to let all of my life revolve around you. I'm going to purpose in my heart that my decisions are made in the light of your honor and your worship and your ruling. You call the shots in my life. You direct the steps. Secondly, we need to do this for our homes, okay, in our families. Now, you may have small children. You may not have children. You may have a favorite dog. You may have an empty nest like I do, okay? But to some degree, you have a sphere of influence, an immediate sphere of influence. And I would say that's closest your family. If you're a husband, you lead a wife and you're the head of a household. If you're a wife, you are influential. You lead children. You are influential, maybe at your workplace. Maybe you have a position that you are influential as a manager or a leader in some respect. You have a sphere of influence. To the degree that you have the responsibility, lift God up, give him his rightful place in your home, in your family life. Make him first. Let everything revolve around him. So often in our lives, God gets the last of everything. Like Sunday morning, we go to church if and only when there's nothing else going on. But the first thing that comes up, oh, church can wait. And pretty soon you're coming to church, once or twice a month or once or twice a quarter. And pretty soon you're showing up at Christmas and Easter, and God is nowhere near the center of your life. So in our personal lives, in our homes and families, hey, in our church, I need to be a pastor that says, Jesus, you have preeminence here. We need to be a church family that responds, verses 6, 7, and 8. Yes, we will worship. We will gather. We will sing. We will bow. We will pray. We will honor. We will lift up Jesus. We will congregate together. This is what we do at Christmas, nights of worship, Lord's table. Yes, we value these things, and God will be there together, making you the center of our church life. On and on I could go. But my friend, it's a good thing for you to lead others to express, we will go into his tabernacles. We will worship at his footstool. It's a good thing for all of us to say, arise, O Lord, into thy rest. Lord, find a permanent resting place on the throne of my life, on the throne of my family, on the throne of our church family. Lord, you rule, you reign. Let thou and the ark of thy strength. God, we're going to orient our lives around the need that we know we have, perpetually needing your power, your provision, and your protection. Now, here's the beautiful thing. My friend, you do need those things today. Power, provision, protection. When Jesus is the center, you know you have those things. As you need them, his presence, hey, there's another P. His presence, his power, his provision, his protection is yours today if you enthrone him. Happy Wednesday. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.